I didn't yell. Didn't slam a single door. I just wiped the counter, smiled, told my daughter her pasta was the best thing I'd ever eaten, and kissed her on the forehead goodnight. Inside though, I was a blade, silent, honed, and waiting. She's 17. Brilliant. Stubborn. For 3 days, she poured herself into planning a dinner for 23 guests. My wife's mother was turning 70, and they wanted a homemade, heartfelt celebration. So my daughter volunteered. 3 days of flour-dusted hair, blistered fingers, and handwritten prep lists taped to the cabinets. She even made a 3-layer pistachio cake with rose cream, practicing the piping late into the night. She was proud. She just wanted to prove she could do it, that she was enough. Then, the night before the party, my wife's sister sent a group text. *Hey. Change of plans. We've decided to do it at a restaurant instead. Adults only. XO. *. That was it. No apology. No acknowledgement of the girl who had given 29 hours of her heart and hands to make something beautiful. My daughter shrugged, said it was fine, that she was tired anyway. But I saw her. I saw the way her hands trembled as she tossed the prep notes into the trash. Saw the way she stared at the bin, like it had just swallowed her. I didn't sleep that night. Not a second. My wife and I used to be good. Then her family moved in, not physically, but into every corner of our life. Like ghosts always whispering. Her sister, Audrey, led the charge. Rich, connected, smug in the way only someone drunk on influence can be. And somewhere along the way, my wife decided it was easier to orbit Audrey than stand beside me. Still I stayed. For my daughter. For the thin hope that someone would remember we were supposed to be a family. But that text, that damn text, was the fracture I couldn't ignore. They hadn't just dismissed her. They erased her. 2 days after the party, I started collecting. First, I set up a private cloud and cloned my wife's phone while she napped in a haze of Chardonnay. I dug through the hidden group chats, the ones she didn't know I could access. The restaurant had been booked for weeks. The last-minute change was a lie. They never planned to have my daughter there. Too awkward, Audrey had said. She's not even blood, one text read. Not blood. I remembered the day I adopted her. My wife had cried during the ceremony. Held my hand. Promised we were a team. All lies now. I screenshotted everything, names, dates, the messages that cut deepest. And then I began. Step 1, exposure. Audrey's husband was already knee-deep in an IRS audit. All it took was one anonymous envelope sent to the right place. Copies of financial records she'd carelessly left open on my wife's laptop during one of their wine-soaked spa weekends. It was enough to crack the surface wide open. Step 2, rot. Audrey loved parading her charity work like it made her holy. I dropped a flash drive into the food bank's mailbox. Photos of her using donated goods to cater a private event at her lake house. I didn't have to go public. The board did the rest. Step 3, distance. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I just pulled away. Quietly. Gently. When she asked what was wrong, I smiled and said, just tired. I let the silence speak. Let her sit with the space she'd carved out between us. Then came the final act. On her birthday, not her mother's, hers, she expected brunch at Audrey's. Instead, when she walked through the front door, the motion-activated screen in the foyer lit up. First, a mosaic of the group chat messages. Audrey mocking her. Her friends tearing into my daughter. One even said, *, you should have let him raise her. He's the only one who bonded with that girl anyway. *. The screen faded to black, then played a video. My daughter. At the kitchen island. Alone. Cooking. Whispering to herself. Maybe this time they'll be proud. I watched from the car. 13 minutes later she came out. Pale. Eyes wide. Phone in hand, dialing no one. 15 hours passed before the knocking started. No, not knocking. Shaking. Audrey at the door, mascara streaked. Phone to her ear. Yelling into the wind. My wife behind her, silent. Waiting. I didn't answer. They didn't knock. They tried to rattle the door like they could shake the house into forgiveness. When they left, I turned to my daughter, still quiet, still holding pieces of her heart together, and handed her a black box. Inside was a letter from the Culinary Institute of America. Acceptance into their summer youth program. Paid in full. Happy early graduation, I said. She didn't speak. Just hugged me. Tight. Shaking. The fallout came slow and bitter. Audrey lost her place on 2 nonprofit boards. Her husband's audit turned into legal action. My wife moved into Audrey's guest room for a few days. She never came back. She asked to talk. I said no. She had chosen silence when my daughter needed a voice. That is betrayal. And betrayal, no matter how soft, echoes louder than any scream. I didn't destroy them. I just let them destroy themselves. All I did was pull back the curtain. Sometimes that's all it takes. Now the house is quiet. Safe. My daughter cooks again. Not for approval, not for applause, but because it brings her joy. And me? I sit at the table every meal. Every moment. Watching her become the kind of woman they'll never deserve to know. They wanted to exclude her from their table. So I built her a better one. And I burned theirs to the ground.